one of the things you notice when you read the Old Testament is that it is thoroughly anthropomorphic in many places. One could, in fact, I could say if one was just reading the book of Genesis and stopped before going on to Leviticus, Exodus, Deuteronomy, it would be quite natural to make the mistake that God had a body. He's described in very, very physical
Oh, yeah.
ways. In fact, he shows up in Genesis 18 to Abraham, and he eats a meal with Abraham. So God is described in these very physical ways. At the same time, we have other passages, like in Deuteronomy 4, where the people are told you shouldn't make a image of God because you didn't see a form at Mount Sinai, you heard a voice. So already with the problem of does God have a body, and we have language that seems to imply it and language that doesn't, we have to we already have to do the scripture interpreting scripture thing. But it's important to notice that God appearing as if he had a body does help us understand God better. It helps Abraham understand God better. At the same time that Abraham is not seeing God as he is. One of the ways we know that is when Moses sees God, it's a lot more confusing than what Abraham sees. And yet that's described as a higher vision. Nevertheless, God communicates himself to Abraham in this way. And so I don't think it's actually possible for us to understand everything God does in the Bible if we thoroughly de-anthropomorphized all our language. So on the one hand, we're not saying that pure religion would toss out all of these ways of speaking and just somehow directly intellect God. At the same time, we need to realize that limitation on our understanding and have room for this language to be metaphorical.